Welcome to Make Your Own Mosaic. Hi, welcome to Make Your Own Mosaic. I'm Cheryl Ray. I live in Austin, Texas, and I'm a mosaic artist. What we're going to make today is a dragonfly. I decided on what I was going to make by looking online and going to Google. So I'll go through all the steps and we'll start with the tools. The tools for making a mosaic, especially the background of the mosaic, which is called a substrate, are woodworking tools for the most part. This is my favorite tool. It's called a rotozip. And the reason it's great is it's got this circular tool blade that goes around so that you can push it in any direction that you need. This is just a sander, and I brought a new little thing. It just velcros right on there. If you have large pieces of wood, you'll want to cut it first with a jigsaw just to get it small enough to work with. I use tape, big box tape, to put my pattern on the piece of wood that I'm going to cut out. Paint and paintbrush, something to sign your artwork with. Glue that works especially well with ceramics and glass. Nippers, you'll need a pair of these for sure. They will break your glass or tile into smaller pieces to use. I use a pair of these, I don't know what they're called, scissor things, to pick up small pieces that I might have dropped, or to hold on to something that's small that I could need it to. And then safety goggles, of course. Okay, so this is the pattern. I actually Googled dragonflies and put it in a Illustrator, actually, and I took out all the color so I could print it just as an outline. And I brought a piece of 1/4 inch MDF, which is what I use for substrate. MDF stands for medium density fiberboard, and you can see I've already cut out some other stuff out of this. But my pattern will fit, and that is the important part. And so I'm going to cut it out and tape it down. Okay, so I cut out my pattern. It doesn't have to be exact. You want to get close to it because you're going to use your saw and get close to it. But then you want to put tape all over it and even go around the edges like this, so that when it goes around, your paper doesn't start flying off. So it's ready to cut out. Okay, one more tool I think you'll need. And you don't need something as elaborate and cool as this to hook it to, because I always just hook it to a table. But you need to make sure that your piece is gripped onto something so that it doesn't move when you're using your saw. Safety glasses. Okay, I'm ready. This is the rotozip. Oh, whoa. Yeah, okay. This is the rotozip, and you see the blade is like this, so what I'm going to do is put this edge down to the bottom and just cut this out. Now you can see these antennae are really thin right here. I'm not going to try to cut those out. I'm just going to cut right around his head, and then I can put the antenna back in with wire or something like that. Okay, ready? Okay, now I have my little piece cut out, but I've got some rough edges, so I use my sander and just take those off real quick, and it happens real quick. So ready? Okay, our pieces cut out. It's not perfect, it doesn't have to be, because it's going to be covered with glass and tile anyway. But first, I'm going to paint it, because that way, if you don't feel like grouting it, you don't have to. So I keep these little dishes from my bird's food so that I can use paint. And I'm just using acrylic and a paintbrush. I start by doing all of the edges all the way around. And I will end up painting both sides, just so that the back is kind of sealed with the paint. It goes pretty quickly. You can choose any color you want. These kind of tubes last a long time. Alright. Okay, now our little piece is purple on both sides, so it's ready to put some glass on. And I wanted to talk about the way that the glass tile is bought and how it comes. You buy it in like a 1-foot square sheet, like this, and it's on the backing that it's on is this fiberglass mesh that you can take it off of and then use the pieces individually. I tend to, when I get these big sheets in though, I tend to cut them to sizes like this so that it's manageable and I can store them all stacked up. So just use your scissors and you can cut it apart easily. It cuts very easily. Okay, so there, now we have some. I'll just move this out of the way. Okay, now I like these. They come in every color imaginable. I tend to bring the colors out that I want to use for my thing. This is a little bottle of glue. I buy things like this at Michael's, and it's great because they screw together, and then you've got lots of colors in a little stack. And then I brought some little fancy things like something that maybe would look really good on his tail, things like this, So I put those kind of things in here because they're different. They're not just the colors. And then I use this tray, and I'll put things in there that I think I'm going to use because it just helps me stay organized. But I'll show you how to pull some of this off. Just bend it, and it just comes right off. And then I have tiny pieces that then I can cut into tinier pieces with these. And these are called nippers. And what you do is you place the tile right in between the two. This is the sharp parts right here, so right in between the two. Okay, and then cover them so that your pieces don't shoot everywhere, and just gently squeeze. It just really is an easy thing. And see, that broke those two in half like that. You can also do it on a diagonal, and then you end up with some triangles to use, which I will probably use triangles like this because it's a perfect size to go all the way down. And I'm just showing you how to dry fit this, but really what you do is you just put the glue on and just start putting it together. It's not hard. So, alright, I'm going to use a couple of these, I know. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut a few things that I need, and then I'll quickly show you gluing. Okay, now the fun part, putting on all the glass and decorating your piece. Okay, I tend to, if I'm going to use little special pieces like these round things, go ahead and put the glue right on them, on the pieces themselves. But then, as a whole, I don't do that. I go ahead and put the glue right on the piece because it makes it go a lot faster. That's with the airplane. Okay. So, and what I'm talking about is I'll go like this. See, and I'm just putting it in a line here. And this glue is washes up great with water. It dries very shiny and very clear, so that's good. We don't have to worry about, you know, if you get a whole bunch of it on a piece, it's going to end up looking white or something. But so I've got my little line there, and I've already cut some of my pieces that I wanted, the sizes that I wanted, and so then I'm going to just start laying it out and pushing it down. And you can see that if you put the glue on, and use enough glue, don't be afraid to use glue, because it does dry clear and it will look good. It goes pretty quickly, and so I would just say to put out as much glue as you think you're going to cover in a few seconds, and then go ahead and put your pieces on, and then cut your other pieces, because you know maybe this part looks like this, but then the next part is all triangles, so you want to make sure that before you put your glue out you've already got everything cut. But then it's pretty easy. Just put all the pieces on. One more. I'm going to scrape it from here because I didn't really get enough. Okay, now I'm going to keep putting glass on here, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is my final piece. I put everything on there. I let it dry. Usually let it dry overnight, maybe 24 hours, and then it's permanent. And you can see I'll just need a hanger for the wall. But I also have one final thing. Don't forget to do this. Sign it. All right, it's your work of art. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for making your own mosaic, and I hope you will.